Hi students, it is Miss Larson live from my house at like 5 in the morning because we had that 2-hour delay on Tuesday and that's why I'm doing it. Okay, so I am making brownie cupcakes, all right? So number 1 says to preheat the oven to 325 degrees. I did that. Second step, it says in a microwave safe bowl, which is not metal, we're gonna use our glass bowl, melt the butter and chocolate chips. We're gonna heat it for 1 minute, stir it, and then heat again for another 10 seconds. So mine is in the microwave right now. I'm going to grab my rubber spatula. I want you guys to grab your red one, okay? To mix your chocolate chips and melted butter, okay? So the only thing in your glass bowl is the butter and the chocolate chips, okay? So it's gonna look like this. I'm gonna stir it, get that chocolate and butter mixture kind of moving together. My butter was fresh from the fridge, so it might need more time, okay? But that's okay. We don't want it to splatter everywhere, okay? So mixing it, and I'm gonna do it for another 10 seconds so that the chocolate's all like silky goodness, okay? Remember that we are going to be focusing on measuring accurately when we're making these brownie cupcakes, because if you mess up the measurements, it's not going to taste good, okay? So I'm going to put it in the microwave for another 10 seconds, okay? The next step, it says in a separate mixing bowl, so we're going to take one of our metal mixing bowls that's larger. We're going to beat the eggs and sugar, okay? So we need 3 eggs and we need 3/4 cup of sugar. Now, we don't have a 3/4 cup at school, okay? So fractions, you need to either use your 1/4 measuring cup 3 times, or you need to use your 1/2 cup and your 1/4 cup. At home, I have a 3/4 cup. But make sure that your chocolate is getting all stirred together, or else it'll get like clumpy and burnt almost. I'm gonna move the camera so that you can see what's going on over here. Okay, now I've got my chocolate and butter mixture over here. My dog is trying to eat it. No, you cannot have chocolate. Okay. All right. So I'm going to crack my eggs. Okay. I'm doing that first so that in case I get any shell, I can just scoop it out. You guys know the trick that if you get a little bit of shell, you use the bigger shell to try to get it out. Okay. So all 3 eggs. Then I'm going to wash my hands because salmonella. All right, and then I have my 3/4 cup of sugar. Remember, I scooped it in with a spoon, made a mountain, and then I bulldozed it with the back of a knife. Okay, so there's my sugar and my eggs. I'm gonna use my whisk it up so it's all mixed together. All right, now it says number 4, stir in vanilla and chocolate butter mixture to the eggs and stir. Okay, so see, it's all together. Beautiful. Now I'm going to add my butter and chocolate mixture, which I know it looks kind of weird, but I promise it will taste good. Okay. And then what else do I need to add? Vanilla. Okay, so I need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Remember, I'm not going to measure over the bowl because what if we accidentally spilled a bunch? And if you add too much vanilla, it ends up actually tasting really bitter. I can only find my 1/2 teaspoon, so I'm going to use that twice, okay? So I'm going to do it over my bowl that's already dirty because less dishes, right? So I'm going to pour my vanilla. There's 1/2, and then another 1/2. Okay, now I'm going to whisk it again. Okay, get all that chocolate goodness and eggs mixed together. Bind it. All right, last it says add flour and salt. Stir to combine, and then we're done. This recipe is super simple, okay? So yay. And then I'm going to use my 3/4 measuring cup, okay? But again, you don't have one at school, so we're going to use a 1/2 plus a 1/4 or 3 1/4, right? So I'm using a spoon. We have a scoop at school, and we're just going to make a mountain. Remember, we do this because we don't want to pack the flour or else we'll end up with a dried brownie, and no one wants that, okay? That sound you guys heard was my oven being preheated. Remember, sous chef, that is your job, okay? So make sure the oven's preheated when you walk in. All right, so I made a mountain. Now I'm gonna use the back side or the flat side of my butter knife to bulldoze it, right? So Ah, satisfying. Love that. Perfect. Accurately measured. Okay, now I'm going to add my flour. And how much salt did it say? Half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, perfect. I'm going to wipe out my half teaspoon so that I don't get vanilla in my salt because that would be gross. Okay, I'm gonna scoop it. And again, I'm making a mountain, and then I'm going to bulldoze it with the flat side of my knife. Please don't overdo the salt, okay? All right, and then I'm going to stir it just until it's combined. So I want all the flour to be mixed in, okay? Now, next it says we're gonna fill 12 paper cups 2/3 of the way full. Okay, so you're gonna take your muffin tin and you're gonna put those paper cups in them so they're easy for us to get out. Okay, so see, it's all mixed together now. And then you're only gonna fill them 2/3 of the way full. This is because they're going to rise. So if you fill them all the way up, all of them, and only make like 8, then they're going to rise too much. And we don't want that, okay? And also, remember, I need 8 for the dance from each of you. So each of you get 1, and then those 8 we're gonna give to ASB so they can give them out at the dance, all right? We're gonna bake them for 25 full minutes or until the tops begin to crackle, okay? So we'll check that. Some helpful hints are, and I put it down at the bottom of the recipe as well, crack your eggs into a small bowl before first pouring into the large bowl. So you can do that first. You guys saw me just crack my eggs into the silver bowl first, right? So that I didn't have to do extra dishes. Fill your measuring cups all the way up, so accurately measuring. Clean the bowl that you use to melt the butter and the chocolate ASAP. If you don't clean it right away or don't scrape it all out, it's kind of a pain to clean because the butter just doesn't want to come off. And then lastly, check to see if your brownies are done by sticking a toothpick in the middle of them. If it comes out clean, your brownies are done. But if it still has some of the batter stuck, then we need to bake it for longer. Another trick is for your eggshells, like you can have like a garbage bowl, like another small bowl that you can just put your stuff in so you're not having to run to the garbage every time you need to throw stuff away, okay? Have fun. Hello, thank you for watching my demo video. Hopefully you've already answered the do now question. I'm probably going to change it because I don't think we have time for Rice Krispies on Tuesday, so it'll be something different. Reminder that today we're going to complete our lab plan now that you've watched my demo video, because tomorrow we're going to make brownie cupcakes and share them with people at the dance. Friday's reflection, and then we get a week off for midwinter break, okay? So as a reminder, our abbreviations for things, tablespoon is an uppercase T or TBSP, teaspoon is a lowercase t or TSP, and then cup is a C. Remember that there's 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon, so we really don't want to mix those guys up, okay? I know they sound similar, but they're different. When we're measuring our dry ingredients, we want to make a mountain or scoop more than we need and bulldoze it with the back of a knife, okay, so that it's level and even. Same thing with small amounts. Okay, but when we're doing it with liquids, like I did with the vanilla, we're going to not measure it over the bowl just in case we spilled. And then lastly, measuring liquid ingredients, which we did not have to do this lab, but when we use a liquid measuring cup, you're going to put it on a level surface and then get it eye level to check it. We're not going to lift it up to us, okay? So you guys are going to decide who's going to be what job. It needs to have changed from last time, okay? So if you were kitchen assistant last time, you are not kitchen assistant again. Everyone needs a chance. When all members are done or at the end of class, head chef, please staple all of your lab plans together and turn them into the orange bucket. Remember, this needs to be done in order for you to cook tomorrow. So if you have one group member that does not finish their lab plan because they're having a hard time focusing, they will do it as homework, okay? And all of you can do that because the recipe is literally on the back of your lab plan, okay? Now, lab plan, here, I'm going to make it bigger. Looks just like this, okay? Your jobs, answering some questions about the recipe. What time should you get your brownies in the oven by? So we have brownies baked for 25 minutes, and you want a couple of minutes to spare, right, for them to cool. And yeah, what your jobs are for tomorrow. Do not just write head chef or sous chef. You actually have to put what jobs you're doing, like this slide, okay, which it's on Canvas, so you can all look at it. And then on the back side of your lab plan is this recipe. What I want you to do with this is you need to annotate it. Okay, so just like in language arts, when you annotate a book that you're reading, we're going to annotate this recipe. So these 7 steps. Okay, so it says Number one, put brackets around the ingredients. Okay, so I want you to put brackets or like little parentheses almost. Put them within the directions. You don't have to put brackets around all of these, okay? But like actually find them within the directions. So like in number 2, it says melt the butter and chocolate chips. So you put brackets around butter and chocolate chips. Number 2, it says circle the ingredient amounts, okay? 3, place a star beside yield. So yield, remember, is how much a recipe makes. Put a box around the cooking temperature. Underline the cooking time. So how long are we cooking the brownie cupcakes for? Ivan, please don't interrupt my recording. Put an asterisk or a little star on either side of the kitchen equipment that's being used. And then put 2 lines under the title. Okay? Ivan, please don't. All right. So that's what needs to be done. Get it done by the end of class. Love you all. Bye.